Barbie Hart over there in South Dakota. Lost her niece, Kelly Ann Hayes, who sadly passed. And Kelly at the time was in Mississippi, so don't know what was going on there, but I noticed that Barbie said her nice, Kellyanne Holmes, and of course we know it's I before E except after C, so she'd spelt it with the I in the wrong place, so that's why he read nice instead of niece. But once we got that one sorted out, Barbie, Barbie was wondering whether there might be a message. It seems as though she thinks Kelly's trying to get a message through. She's seen her before and wonders if there are any secrets or anything to convey, I suppose, really. So what we'll do, here as promised, I'll use these mediumship cards tonight. I thought I was going to try some other thing, but I thought we'll just do the mediumship cards and see where we go from there. So what we'll do, we'll get the cards, and as we shuffle the cards, we'll ask for Kelly's presence. Ask for Kellyanne Hayes to make her presence known. Each one of these cards, of course, has like a pre-written message on it, doesn't it? So Kelly will help shuffle the cards, and whatever card comes up after that is where Kelly has left, like an imprint, her energy. And that is what happens here. Of course, as we know, each card has a pre-written message, as we said, so it means that what's said is not necessarily word for word, but it'll be the sort of thing she says. I mean, it might be word for word, I don't know, but it's usually the sort of thing. So we would literally read the cards and see if we can sense anything, or see if we can feel anything, or if the thing being said is being said in a different way, or whatever. So we'll settle down and we'll shuffle the cards, and as we shuffle them, we just ask, Spirit of Kelly Ann Hayes, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Kellyanne Hayes, through these cards. There was a noise. And move among us. Did you hear that noise then? I don't know if something's coming through. Spirit of Kellyanne Hayes, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Kellyanne Hayes, through these cards and move among us. If that was you then, Kelly, we welcome you now. Spirit of Kellyanne Hayes, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Kellyanne Hayes, through these cards and move among us. Blessed be to Kellyanne Hayes and all absent friends. And we just cut the deck like so, and where the deck splits is where Kelly has now left her message and where she has now entered the setting. So with that, we'll just place the cards to the side, and Kelly Ann Hayes, we welcome you to our seance, our sitting. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your time, and we thank you for your energy. Blessed be. And now we will see what message is in, as you say, is in the cards, in the sense of what message Kelly has left. I suppose a bit like a postcard, isn't it, from the other side, or whatever. But like picking postcards with different messages on, or whatever. I suppose that's what you could call it, isn't it? in some regard or other. So let's go. Let's see, Callie, what you've got to say to your auntie there, to your auntie. Let's just pull this first card out there, and of course your auntie Barbie there wants to know what you got to say. So just bring the card around like this, and then what we'll do, we'll just flip it nice and slow, not to disturb the energy, just nice and steady, out of respect for spirit, out of respect for Kelly. And there we just reveal the first card of the first thing. I normally deal out 3 cards because it's a bit like a beginning, middle and end, isn't it? Usually after that maybe other cards come out if we feel we want to pull other cards out, however many. But she's just saying there at the moment, she's just saying to you that tears cleanse the soul. There, auntie. Tears cleanse the soul. I know I know you think about me a lot, and I know that with you thinking that maybe, I suppose, there's something I'm trying to get over to you there, a message or whatever. Nevertheless, tears cleanse the soul, and it's good to let go, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry about that, but I had the central heating on a bit too high. I just had put some ice in a glass or something there. So sorry, forgive me there, Callie. I had to just interrupt rudely just to refresh myself. But now we're all refreshed. It is nice to know that tears do cleanse the soul, just like a nice cold drink, and the when you've left the central heating on a bit too high, also cleanses you and cools you down. And I suppose in a way that's what it's like, isn't it? In that way, just like in the sense that tears cleanse the soul. I suppose that's what it is. It's refreshing, isn't it? You feel better afterwards. And maybe, if a funny healing process, I get the word, the phrase healing process being said in my head, like, if you get what I mean. I don't know if he's saying it or I don't know what, but it's as if she's sort of saying this is a healing process for you, for you, Auntie Barb. Auntie Barb, why, my Barbie, but unless most Barbaras I know I always call them Barb or Babs. We don't call Barbara Babs, we do normally, if that's assuming she's Barbara. But Auntie Barb, I don't know why I think of that. I could be wrong, but that could be just my perception of it, of course. You do have to realise that we're all human. Aren't we there, Kelly? So, what else do you want to say to your Auntie Barb there, or Auntie Barbie? Let's just pull out the next card and let's just see what that's going to be. You're letting her know already that just like that nice cold drink has refreshed me. In a way, tears do refresh you, don't they? You do sort of feel better after, don't you? I tend to let go when I'm angry. I tend to do it in anger. It's a strange thing, that, isn't it? But here, of course, let's focus more. This is all about you now, isn't it, Callie? And what you've got to say to... Look at that there. Can you see that one? And she's just saying you are never alone. Can you see that? The lighthouse there. I don't know if you can notice that there. I always now focus on... I like this card. I tend to focus on that lighthouse on it. I don't know why. You know, you get sort of fixated on certain things and then you can't shut up about it. Well, I tend to get fixated on the lighthouse on here, as if she's using this card to say Auntie Barbara or Auntie Barbie, whatever, Auntie Barb, that they're just like the lighthouse. Sometimes, although it's clouded and you can't somehow sense I'm there, or you somehow feel as though you're having trouble communicating with me, or whatever. Sometimes it's clouded. Nevertheless, you'll still see my light. You might not see the lighthouse clearly. I mean, that's a clear day, isn't it? On this card here, it's a clear day, so you can see the detail of the water and the rocks and so forth. But sometimes when it's foggy, which is what the lighthouse is there for, really, isn't it? When it's foggy, of course, you only see the light through the fog, and that warns you that there's rocks ahead that you can hit. And so, although this is probably what's been going on in a sort of symbolic sense, really, that just like you were saying, Barbie, that Auntie Barbie, you were saying that although you sort of like feel as though there's a message coming through, but you can't quite get what it is, and that's what it is. But you can see the light. You can see the light of the message. You can see the sort of the essence or the trail of it, but you can't quite get what it is in detail like you can there. On this photograph there with that lighthouse on the photograph, as you can just see that there. Have I got it right there? I don't know where I don't know where I am now. Let me just hold that up and look on the screen, and then you can probably see what I mean. There, look. So that's sort of clear, isn't it, there? But of course, if it's foggy, then you can't see. You can't. So it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? And maybe that's what she's saying, but she's just saying, Auntie Barbie, nevertheless, you're never alone. I'm always there, even when you think you can't hear what I'm saying to you. Because sometimes she might not be saying anything there, Auntie Barb. She might not be saying anything at all. I won't call you Babs. She's sorry about that. I couldn't help that then. But she wants to, that's just me. Because she's not actually saying anything. She's just letting you know that she's there. And maybe that's why you can't actually get what's being said, because nothing is being said. It's just, you're never alone, I'm there, and helping the healing process. Just want you to know that when you are alone, when you are letting go, I'm there with you. I'm not there in the flesh, of course, but I'm there with you in spirit. I want to pull the next card out now, because remember, we have a beginning, a middle and an end, don't we? And I just feel like just pouring a bit more of this into this glass in here, I think. So I think, well, it's no good for you, is it? Normally I drink coffee, you know, but it's just with it being it's cooling down a bit in here now, so probably that's a good help, isn't it? Let's get the next card now, and let's see what the next thing that Kelly wants to say. We'll just get the card down, just give it a rotate. Nice and slow there, no sort of sharp movements or anything. Respect Kelly, respect spirit, and there we go, Luke. And look at this. Isn't this an interesting card there? She's just saying there that the card says, "I send you loving signs through nature." And this is a bit. I always tend to think this is a bit like when the Bible says God speaks through creation. Although you don't know what the words are, it's a similar sort of thing where I'm always there. You're never alone there, Auntie. Nevertheless, I speak to you through nature. She's just saying, when you go out, when you go outside and sit on that bench, or when you're out walking, in the park, or when, you know, when the sun shines through the window or whatever, or you see that little star shining ahead of you. It's usually Sirius, isn't it, the morning star? Actually, that's not a star, it's Venus, actually. That's a lie. But either way, it's something of that nature. But when you see that sort of thing, I speak to you through nature. Because remember, when I was in the... It's like as she's saying now, when I was in the flesh, I was made of the same sort of stuff that stars are made of, the same sort of stuff that butterflies are made of. There, look. The same sort of stuff that dandelions are made of, same sort of stuff that I'm made of matter. So the same matter or material atoms that vibrate, as you want to say, or however you want to put a spin on it. I was there in that form, and I can speak to you through that form even now. It's just I'm not wearing the particular body that I was before. It's a bit like the clothing that I was wearing before, I'm not wearing anymore, but I'm speaking to you from that new clothing that's hanging in that shop window. I suppose it's a bit like that, isn't it, really? I'm sort of trying to think, and it doesn't work, does it? But it's a similar sort of thing, in the sense that's the clothing I could wear, but my spirit is wearing it. But in that sort of sense, I speak to you through nature. When you're out there sort of sitting and having to think about me, remember I'm in your thoughts, and I can read your thoughts. You know, you've only got to think of me, and I'm only a thought away anyway. There, aren't you? And you know that, don't you? So when you hear the bird sing, just remember that same bird. Well, not the same bird, but that type of bird I probably heard as well. When you look up at the moon, remember that's the same moon that I used to look at, auntie. That's the same moon that I used to... So you're looking at something that I saw, in the sense of that's the connection that we've got. Even you've got a connection with me in the past as when I was. You're still connecting to me in some way, shape or form, aren't you? Even when you watch them videos with me on if you've got any videos there with her on it, it's that sort of thing where I sort of feel, as you're saying now, when you look at those videos with me on, you're sort of connecting with me, because I'm in a timeless dimension now. I'm in the past, the present and the future all at the same time. I'm everywhere all at the same time. I'm omnipresent. And it doesn't matter if you watch a video of me. You could say this little setting we're having now, isn't it? In a way, although you're watching a recording, in a way, she's with you there now, because it's like as if she can travel. She can, in spirit, you can travel through time, because you're not a slave to the three-dimensional world, are you? There is no time. There's no such thing as time, because you've left the world. You have to think of time as a thing, like space, or like, say, this crystal is an object. You have to think of time as an object in the same sort of way. A fourth sort of dimensional object in that sort of sense. And when you think of it that way, you can sort of relate to it. But when we pass on, we don't just leave the physical body, the three-dimensional side, we leave the fourth dimension of time as well, because we're not subject to that no more. Time is very, very sort of scarce when we're here, and we have to make the best of it and do good to others or whatever, or do good for others before we finally move on. But what, of course, we know all that, and it sounds as if she's sort of trying to get that. That's the message she's trying to get. Maybe that's the secret. I don't know. Maybe that's just something, the secret is just something that needs to be finally realised. Well, I've never thought of it that way before. Or, you think, well, all these years I never thought of it like that before, or something like that, Ooh, that was nice. And maybe, as we know, tears cleanse the soul in the same way. You think, I feel better now. I've probably had a cry, or I've just had to think about when I've been sitting on that bench looking at that butterfly, thinking, yes, she used to like butterflies, or yes, she used to like hearing the birds singing in the morning, or when the sun used to shine through the window. She said, oh, look, auntie, that beam of light coming through her. all the way, travelling all that distance from where the sun is situated in the solar system all the way to here. It's only taken about 11 minutes. As it's 11 minutes or 9 minutes, I can't remember now. But either way, the distance between us and the sun is an astronomical unit, isn't it? But that's neither here nor there. Let's see. What is that? The distance that light travels? I don't know. Let's just. I think it's the distance between here and the sun is an astronomical unit, and that's a bit like a measurement thing. I feel another card coming out here, as we mentioned, that sort of thing, and whatever, and I just feel like, as though maybe she's trying to, she wants to say something else. I don't know why. Why just put my hand on the deck there? I don't know. And I feel as if this is an important message. I don't know why. It might not be, but I just feel as though it might be. Or just an important statement anyway. There, look. What's that say there? There is no such thing as death. I think we may have gathered that here, Kelly, but thanks for telling us anyway. So there she's just clarifying that. She's just saying, Auntie, I don't mean to take the wee or anything like that here, Kelly. You know that, don't you? But there's no such thing as death. In brief, she said, hasn't she? She's just saying there, Auntie, that tears cleanse the soul. And I just want you to know that you're never alone. And when you're out there, I speak to you through nature. So when you're out there, you hear the birds singing. It's that same bird I heard sing. And it's the same moon that I saw. And the sun shines on you like it's shone on me. Remember? And of course, finally, I just want you to know the reason for all this. The reason I'm telling you this is because there's no such thing as death. That's the reason I'm telling you. Because you are alive, experiencing what you're experiencing, Auntie. And I experienced it when I was alive in that sense, in the physical. But now I'm in the spiritual. Nevertheless, I'm still alive, but just in a different place. And I just want you to know that you're never alone, Auntie. You're never alone, Luke. You're never alone, because there's no such thing as death. Tears cleanse the soul because there's no such thing as death, in a way, isn't it? Because you're alive to shed those tears. You're able to do it. And I'm able to be there. You're never alone. I'm able to be there to see you and maybe share. And of course, there's no such thing as death, Auntie, because I speak to you through nature. So maybe I got a funny feeling as though I speak to you through nature because there's no such thing as death, as if there's like a because card in the middle, or you could put the word because there at the beginning of this card, or just at the end of that one. I got a funny feeling as though she's saying that I send you loving signs through nature because there's no such thing as death. Nature is life, because life, Auntie, is for the living, not the dead. Remember that. And I am not dead, am I? And I get a feeling that she's fading there now, and I just want to, what I'll do is I'll just grab the cards here, we'll just gather them up, make a nice neat pile, and then we'll just rotate them over like that. And then I'll just place them, pop them there, just nice and neatly. And then we'll just remember that love is the law, love is the bond. Merry did we meet, merry do we part. And merry may we meet again. Kellyanne Hayes, blessed be to you, and blessed be to all absent friends. And as we do it, we'll get the rest of the deck and just place them neatly on top of Kelly's cards. And as we do, we just visualise Kelly now as she goes back to rest. We just close her eyes and visualise a door open with a bright light coming through. You know that light where Kelly is, that bright light of love. Well, just visualise that now, shining through that door, and then we just imagine that door closing very slowly and the light slowly now fading and going out. And as it does so, we return to the darkness, we open our eyes, and we're back again. Blessed be again to Callie, Anne Hayes, and all absent friends.